Welcome to Soul Healing for the Empathic Entrepreneur. Today's live is titled, What is your next evolution? What is your next evolution? And I want to go over the 3 stages that we can become aware of when we are in a place where we're in transition. And I don't know about you guys, but many of the people I know who are on the spiritual path, who are into healing and transformation, are going through something, some kind of purging, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional, whether it's a relationship, whether it's in your actual external life. Something is happening, and it's almost like the chronic thing that we've been dealing with is reoccurring and coming back, and we have thought like, well, I thought I dealt with all of this, and now it's kind of like emerging even stronger. And this is the thing I want to ask you guys is, if you feel like that's happening, let me know in the comments first of all if that's you. What is it right now? What is that thing that is breaking down? What is that thing that is breaking down right now for something else to break through? What is it for you? So as we kind of revisit, because in healing there's cycles, right? So especially if you have some kind of chronic illness, chronic emotion, chronic patterns, chronic relationship patterns, there's going to be cycles. So like, let's say, for example, if you're in you tend to be in chronic, abusive relationships. You tend to cycle through those, right? And you learn every single time you cycle through them. And if you don't learn, then you sort of get deeper into the groove of that. But when you do learn, for example, from your chronic illnesses, from your chronic patterns, it's like they keep on coming through and cycling through your life, and every time they're giving you an opportunity to uncover another layer. So here's the thing, it's like, instead of resisting what's happening right now, we might want to ask ourselves, well, what is it that's emerging right now that you're like, I thought I dealt. It's like, when you go to home for Christmas and you've done all this spiritual work, and all of a sudden, like, you're triggered as AF with your parents and your siblings and all that, and it's like you thought, oh God, wow, I thought I was so peaceful and I thought I did all this meditation, and here I am, like, acting like a 14-year-old again, or reverting back and regressing back to a 6-year-old with my brother or sister. It's like, when we're moving through the healing cycle, there is that's reoccurring, and so we kind of, it's like our last opportunity, not last opportunity, but like our ending opportunity to, like, allow this to be the last thread, right? And this last thread, we want to start to really look at, like, okay, so if this is going to break down, what is trying to break through? So let me know in the comments what that is for you. Like, what's trying to break through now? So it's noticing your own resistance to it, because you're so tired of the chronicness of it, and noticing your subconscious, like how you dealt with it in the past. If you keep on dealing with it kind of almost exactly the same way, you're sort of just staying in the cycle. But it's like, okay, what other angle, what other way can I hold this and see this and receive it? Because what is the gift that it's actually giving me? So that's a question you want to ask yourself in your next evolution. And if you're having some kind of chronic something, you want to know, well, what is it? What is another angle that I can hold and receive what is happening and see it as a gift? Okay, so that's stage number 1, is like, in your next evolution, what is breaking down to allow you to break through to the next level? And this one is a tough one. It's a tough one because especially if something is chronic and reoccurring, it's so easy to kind of go back into the way we've been kind of quote unquote fixing it, and maintaining it. But this requires a little bit of a deeper look under the hood. And so it's really interesting too. Like right before you're moving towards where you want to go, I talk about this a lot. Before you move towards where you want to go, there's always going to be resistance. So I was, with a client yesterday, and we were, and this is what we do in our somatic healing container. If those of you are interested in the 12-month mentorship program, we were working on some strategy, right? So she needs to be reaching out to some clients. So we were doing that in real time, because as an empath, I can go tell you as your coach, like, okay, go do this strategy, but it's sometimes so overwhelming, and then all of those patterns cycle back, and so then we don't do it. So in real time, we were applying a strategy, reaching out to our clients, crafting, a certain, what we're going to say, message to her client. And it's so interesting. So she's doing the thing and it's going well. And then right in between, there was a moment of breakdown, and a moment where, a very kind of honest moment of like, oh gosh, I feel so vulnerable. I can't believe I keep on doing this. Can't believe I'm trying to go forward, but I'm always in the same place. And that's the thing, like right before we move towards what we want, there's always going to be a level of resistance. So literally in that moment, when we're doing the thing that we need to do, that part of her, the inner wounded child, that egoic structure, so the inner wounded child that didn't feel safe came. The other layer that came is, okay, all of the core wounding of all of the sort of narcissistic voices that told her like she was too sensitive, or not enough, or not strong enough, or not enough kind of message started to come in. And then the emotion, and then it's like, you see, it's like this cycle of that pattern that we're so used to experiencing came in right before we're going towards where we want to go. And this is really important for everybody to understand this. To understand that before you're going towards where you want to go, there's always going to be a level of resistance. And it's so kind of unconscious, because it's like the nervous system, your egoic mind, and your energy is like it's moving towards a different frequency that it is not necessarily practiced in. And then boom, it's going to want to do everything it can to kind of stay in its homeostasis, stay in its stuckness, even though you hate it and you don't like it, and it feels like crap. That's what happens, right? So what we did in the container, because this is the somatic healing container that I hold for all of our clients, we are doing, like I always talk to everybody about, we pair our strategy and our somatic practice very close together. So here we are doing our thing, then there's an emotional breakdown, very normal, okay? We down-regulated the system in that moment so that we know how to collaborate when the wounded child comes up, when the narcissistic voices come up, when the nervous system starts to become overwhelmed. In the moment, we learn how to collaborate with it in the moment, because usually what happens in that moment, we get taken out, and then we kind of go back into the pattern, and we forgot to do the strategy. We don't do the strategy. And so in that moment, we down-regulated, right, through some techniques that we practiced together, through some breathing, through some meditations, through some somatic work. And then guess what we did? We got right back onto the strategy. Even though the nervous system was not fully, completely down-regulated, and then the core wounds and the narcissistic wounds and the nervous system wasn't completely 100%, we went forth. Because here's the misconception. We sometimes think we can't go forth when we're sort of like out of whack. But what we want to practice is, and I'm not saying to push yourself past your threshold, but you do want to learn in these moments where I'm going back into my pattern, how can I redivert my energy? So how can I first process it with, the technique that I use is we always ground in the body. We process emotion, we clear the mind, and we clear the energy. And through that process, how can I regulate and take the little bit of energy I have and move it forward in action? Because what we misdiagnose and what we think we should do is, okay, let me go on a year-long journey. And sometimes you need to do that. That's fine. But let me go on this like long journey, or this whole week, or this whole day, to like we come back into balance, and then I can do what I need to do. And guess what? You never do what you need to do because you're always stuck in what I call that healing loop. So we need to kind of practice inching out of it little by little. And this is what I do with all our clients. It's like, let's take just a little bit of energy we freed up and put it into an action. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? At first there was an overwhelm of like, oh my God, I don't want to reach out to this one client. And then after we did the thing, we did the action, guess what happened? She was like, oh, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to reach out to another client. Haha, right? So the action created some confidence and momentum. Do you see? So it's like working with both. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not like we're putting ourselves under pressure and just pushing through. No, we're regulating the system. We're regulating the energy. We're processing the emotion. We're staying in the body. We're staying grounded. We're staying focused. We're clearing the mind, right? And then we move forward. Okay, so it's very systematic in the approach. Now, number 2, in your next evolution. So number 1, what is breaking down for you to do the next breakthrough? And understand resistance is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. Your wounded child's always going to be there. They need to feel safe. The narcissistic voices are always going to be there. They just need to be heard, but not necessarily acted upon. And the nervous system is going to feel overwhelmed, and we need to learn how to collaborate when that comes up. And the more and more we start mastering that, the more and faster we can come back to a state of regulation. Does that make sense? Okay. Number two, what is the whisper? What is the whisper that right now in your life, in your next evolution, that keeps on coming? The one that you're like, it's like, oh, go try this. And it's something probably new, something that you haven't really, you're sort of like unsure about because you haven't really exactly tried it yet. But it kind of like gets you excited, and you kind of like think, oh, that would be really cool, right? That kind of feeling. Not, I need to do this. It's not a stressful feeling. It's a the first feeling is excitement. Maybe the second feeling is stressful because then that's where the patterns of the mind start happening. But what we want to kind of notice is, okay, what's the thing that keeps on coming to me? An action and a direction that keeps on calling to me, right? And so, for me, it's like I have two things going on where it's like there's a need to travel more, especially to hot tropical countries, and the idea of maybe going back to school. Ooh, so you see, both of them are exciting. But of course, a millisecond afterwards, all of the doubt and all of the concern and all of the worry and all of the cons instead of the pros are going to come into play. This is important to understand. This is how it works. And so that comes into play. And if I only listen to that, then I will not take action. Do you see? But here's the thing. When you get these kind of little nudges, especially if you get them more than 3 times and they keep on reoccurring, it means that you need to take some action towards it without the expectation of like, okay, I'm going to take the action and for me, it's like, I'm going to take the action and then all of a sudden I'm going to like finish my master's degree. I don't know yet. That is a potential and a possibility. I don't know yet. It's very exciting, but I don't know yet unless I continue to do my research. And that's where I'm at right now. It's like, let me move towards it. Let me take action towards it and see the unfolding, and that's going to give me clarity. And here's the important thing. Where you want to find the clarity is in your body. Okay, this is why I'm creating the somatic container, this 12-month mentorship for you entrepreneurs out there and your empaths out there, because we sometimes forget that it's not the mental body that is going to direct this this boat of yours, this vessel of yours. That's what the somatic body is, right? It's your vessel. And so um, as you move forward, so as I move forward, let's say in the travel thing, like let's say I book the tickets, and let's say I continue to look into the research of my undergrad and my master's and all this business, I need to continue to listen to my body versus what all my mind, all of, again, what are the three things? Your old core wounding of your inner child, your narcissistic voices that were not even yours, that people have told you you're not enough, you're not worthy, you don't belong, I'm not capable, I'm not perfect, I'm not significant, and what's the last thing? And I'm not worthy? I think I did. I don't know if I said that already. Okay? So that's your narcissistic voice and the nervous system that is getting overwhelmed. Okay? So those three things, we have to continue to feel the body as you move forward. Yes, there's going to be stressful. There's going to be stress. So here's the analogy. You know when you want to go to the gym and you're like, oh, and then your mind's like, oh, no, actually I'm more comfortable here. Let me just like kind of sit and relax and just like, oh, maybe I'm too tired or whatever. And then you go to the gym and you kind of lift the weights, which is kind of stressful, but you lift the weights and you do the thing. And then afterwards you have like, 1,000 times more energy. You ever have that? Okay. This is that same thing that I'm talking about. When you are listening to that intuitive hit that has come more than 3 times and you're moving towards it and you're taking action, it's like lifting the weights and seeing the result and seeing how you feel as you go forward. Yes? So you will never really know the intuitive hit intellectually. You'll never know that. That's the way intuition works. But you will know as you take action and decipher. Here's the thing. You need to decipher between the two things, your mind and your body. And in this, as you listen to your intuition, you must listen to your body as you move forward, just like when you go to the gym. Okay, I didn't want to go at the beginning, and then I went, and now I feel great. Does that make sense? Okay, let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you. Okay, and this is where so many of our empathic entrepreneurs, they start veering down the path of worry, or those 3 things happen. Their nervous system shuts down, their inner child doesn't feel safe, and their narcissistic voices start to come in play. Okay, I want you to really listen to this, guys, because this is what happens over, and this is what keeps you in the cycle. This is what keeps you in the cycle. So we need to work with all of those things. And it's not that they're ever going to go away. This is the other thing too, right? It's like, we always think, when I finally don't have those voices anymore, when I finally feel safe, when my nervous system feels calm, like, you're a human being that lives life, and sometimes you feel really safe, and sometimes you feel really like you don't have those voices, and sometimes you feel like what's the last thing? Your body feels really good and strong, and very often when you're hit against where you really want to go, or a heightened sense of stress, or a sickness, or something happens in your family, some kind of heightened climax in your life, all of that is going to come back. Oh, this is so important to understand. All of that SHIT is going to come back, and sometimes with a vengeance, just so that you can really see it and love it for its experience that it's giving you. Oh, that's so hard. It's a big challenge, right? To love that part of you that doesn't feel safe, to love those voices that are kind of like bullying you, and also to re-parent that child, to reteach the narcissistic wound, and to reteach the nervous system. So if you were to work with me, this is what we'd work on, because I say this a lot, my teacher says this a lot, we don't heal alone. Okay, so this type of thing, like even in myself, I might know all of this stuff, but we, in the yogic philosophy, are one. And when we work together, there's a very powerful thing that happens called healing, that yes, we do our own work, but we also do it together. Yes? Okay, last stage. last stage is I want you to ask yourself, what is one action I can take today to move towards that intuitive hit that's been calling me, right? What is one action? Now, this is where you want to be careful and not have your mind start to hijack your action. Your mind start to think about all of the cons. This is what the left brain will do. It will think of all of the things why you shouldn't do what you shouldn't do. The nervous system will not feel safe, so it's like, yeah, okay, no, I'm not going to go there, and all of the old voices are going to come back. Okay, so we have to learn how to work with that and take the action anyway. And then, what did I say? Feel the body. Yes? Okay, so this is the 3 stages of your next evolution, guys. Okay, number 1, notice what's breaking down in order for you to break through. Notice the resistance. Notice your nervous system, your inner child, and your narcissistic wounds come up again. Number 2, what was number 2? Notice the voice, right? The inspiration that keeps on coming, the in spirit that's calling you to go there. And sometimes it's often very illogical, and it's often doesn't make sense, and often something you're not doing at this moment. So look at that. And number 3, what is the action? One action you can take, after you ground in the body, after you clear the mind, after you energetically move, after, to just take. And again, if you feel extremely stuck in this, then I want to invite you to Soul Healing for the Empathic Entrepreneur. No, that's this group. I want to invite you to Awaken the Soul Entrepreneur Program, Awaken the Soul Entrepreneur Program 12-month membership. And I'm going to put a link in the comments, and you can check it out. Check out what's it about. And if you feel really stuck, even though you mentally know why you're stuck, just like with my client, where it's like, I could have told her, yes, go and reach out to a client, and she may or may not have done it. And I'm like, let's do it right now. So if you want a mix of strategy in real time and healing in real time to continue to move you forward to where you want to go, then let me know, Jamie, I'm ready for a breakthrough yoga coaching call. And in that call, we're going to look at, in your physical body, in your mind, and in your energy, where that energy is stuck. Okay, where that energy is stuck. And we're going to look at it in the physical body. We're going to look at it, what's the pattern in the mind, and we're going to look at it energetically. So we're going to look at it at all 3 levels. I call it the 3-level clearing on the actual call. So we're going to get to work right away. So this is a call for those who have already been doing the work. And I know all of you have been, if you're in this community, if you're listening to this, you have been. So book a call. Let me know you're ready for a breakthrough coaching call. And then we're going to look at that. And then we're going to look at, well, where do you want to go? What do you want? What's your next evolution? And then we're going to strategize. How are we going to get there in your business, in your life, in your relationships? So there's a link for entrepreneurs. There's also a link for individuals. So some people are not necessarily entrepreneurs, but they need the healing, right? And some people are entrepreneurs and they want that strategy. So it's one or the other. So let me know. We can book a call, and that's it. DM me. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I decided to do a shorter form today, and just to see, maybe it's more digestible for people, and it's a quick sort of understanding, and hopefully it's going to gain you some clarity. That this is the purpose of these lives. It's like, how can I kind of start the journey today, now, without feeling completely overwhelmed, but just inching forward in my journey. Because in the healing journey, we often think like, when I'm finally fully healed, never gonna happen. If you're a human being, you will experience pain, you will experience grief, you will experience all kinds of emotions, doubt, you will experience your ego, you will experience your inner child, you will experience your nervous system freaking out. And we on this earth just simply need to love that aspect, but also know how to work with it somatically, mentally, and energetically. And that's where I always come to. It's never just an intellectual journey, it's never just a somatic journey, and it's never just an energetic journey. It's all three. So if you want the Breakthrough Yoga Coaching Call, DM me, let me know, and I'm going to put the link in the comments. So if you're interested in any other topics, let me know, and I will be happy to talk about it. All right. See you next time. Click the link when you're ready to move towards your next breakthrough. All right. Thanks for listening to Your Next Evolution. I will see you next week. I'm going to start maybe noon in the summers. Okay. DM me. All right. Bye, guys.